right, my other guy, gal, non-gendered pals, we are on the very last tutorial. Can you believe it? We have made it. We are on the very last tutorial. All right, so I took it a step further so I could do this tutorial a little bit quicker. So you ended with your two rows of just knit. Your next step is you're going to do 4 more rows of just knitting. Okay, so just 4 more rows of working it around, all the way around 4 more times. Okay, so once you get that done, come on back. Do, 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 do. You guys are super speedy. All right, here we go. Are we ready? It is time to cast off. Okay, so just like we did with the straps, we are going to go ahead. This has been I've turned this into my stitch marker, okay? This is a row counter. A friend of mine made this for me. Actually, one of my pattern testers. These are fantastic. It's 1 through 10. And it's big enough of a little thing that you can just slide it around. And then as you get to your next row, boop. I am trying to figure out if I know of a quality source that I trust that sells this yet. So if I do, I will have that person's name in the comment section of this video. And I will also, make sure you guys know. I don't know if I can comment section in Ravelry or not yet. I haven't figured out all the kinks and details and hootenannies of Ravelry. But these are phenomenal. They're so helpful. I love this thing. So there's that. We don't need him anymore, though. We are done. We have done all of our... You guys could go ahead now and take these off if you want. We obviously don't need them anymore. I like to wait. It's kind of so satisfying after everything is done to start ripping out all of your stitch markers. I did take out the rest of the stitch markers once I was done the mesh parts. That's just my preferential thing. I like to just be able to just fly, just whip around, So let's get into taking these bad boys off. So again, we're going to knit the first 2, and then we're going to play leapfrog, okay? So we're going to leapfrog this guy over this guy. Knit this guy, leapfrog this guy over this guy. And we're going to keep on going. Lots of knit and leapfrog. Sorry, guys. Brain cells are still trying to come alive. All right. So we're just zoop, a doop. Zoop, a doop. Okay. So now once you get all of this done, once you get all of your leapfrogging done, it is completely off. We are going to weave in the ends, and I'm going to show you how to weave in ends the way that I like to do it for knitting. You'll kind of come to your own devices as you get along. So I will see you back when we have this all leapfrogged off of here. Okie dokie. So here we are. We're at the very last part. Okay. I'm going to slip my needle out of there. Kind of tug this up a little bit. Make the hole a little bit bigger. I'm going to grab my sharp implement of sharpiness. Go ahead and cut that yarn off. And then I like to snag this up and kind of just pull it through that loop, grab it up, and now we are going to weave in the ends. All right, so I'm going to grab my pokey device, also known as a darning needle. You can use whatever your heart's content when it comes to needles, okay? If you are not comfortable using metal yet, there's plastic. I don't think that there's wooden needles, although I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. I really like the bent tip. I think it kind of helps me to wiggle in places a little bit better. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab this. Okay, I'm going to go in here, right into this stitch, that very first stitch. Okay, and I'm going to tug that together a little bit. All right, and then I'm going to go back down into that last stitch. Okay. And kind of, you can fiddle with that a little bit, make it look as pretty as you want it to look. And then we're going to kind of get down in here a little bit, okay? And then, so unlike crochet, you can see how you can see my finger through there, right? Like, you can kind of see. So we're going to be careful with what we do. So we're going to kind of go like, I like to call this like step laddering. We're kind of moving around a bit, okay? Make sure it's staying in a good spot, okay? And then what you want to do is kind of break out these fibers a little bit. So like you kind of want to go in between a strand. All right, so like see, it's kind of in between. I want to get there in between a little bit more. It's a little bit tricky, but I kind of want to get like in between there. That's going to help me a little bit. And then I'm going to kind of work my way back up, but I'm going to work my way back up a different way. So there we go. That last stitch, I'm going to try it again. Break up those strands, kind of get in there. Now, are you going to see that? Not really. Yes, you can, but you kind of, you know, it's not that big of a difference. To the eye of someone who doesn't knit, nobody's gonna pick you apart for that. So then this very last one, I want to kind of get in here, and I really want to get in between these last stitches. I want to kind of break them apart and really get up in here, okay? Over time, what that's going to do is it's going to help it to felt together, so to speak. So these fibers are going to want to like play with each other, and they're going to kind of become besties. So you're not going to have to worry about that tail being an issue. Then we're going to take our sharp device, and we're going to be careful. Kind of tug up just ever so slightly, and then snip off next to it. And then we're going to kind of fluff it out, so to speak. We're going to kind of like move it around, play with it a little bit, you know, wiggle it out, and there you go. So then you're going to go in through and do all of your, you know, your things like this. You're just going to kind of find spots. So like for here, I'll kind of wiggle in around here, come down here, you know, like wiggle up and around, and kind of, you just don't want it to become clumpy. So wherever you can kind of fit those stitches in to not become clumpy. Also, I am dead set not ever against, if you are not confident, if you are nervous, technically you're not even supposed to tie in knitting. I tie. But if you are nervous, this isn't a garment. I would not recommend you do this next trick with a garment. But if you're nervous that your tie is going to come out, or that your stitch, you know, the way that you've woven it in, that very last spot, right before you cut it, there's a thing called liquid stitch. It is a glue, but it doesn't feel like glue. Like, it's got a little bit of a stiffness, but not enough to be like, ouch, that's glue. You know, like, it's not like super glue where like it gets super hard and like, but it's enough that like the tiniest dab, knock it in there and you'll be good. Okay? It doesn't come out in the wash. It's good. So I would say go ahead and do that. I've done that before where like I've clipped a I've clipped yarn too close to a knot, and like because it's soft yarn, it wants to come undone. So I just a little bit of dab, squish it in there a little bit, and you're good to go. Again, it's not like this is something you're going to wear, right? So you're going to go ahead and you're going to do that, work in all these stitches, okay? Or all of these yarns, the ends, Jesus. And then, so the only thing left to do is our straps. So what I like to do is I kind of get it out side to side, kind of put it out. I want to see it, okay? I want to see where I'm thinking my straps want to live. All right? So now this is your choice. You can do whatever your heart desires. if you want, you're going to get your you're going to get your straps to where you're comfortable. Okay. So maybe you like a further apart strap. So you're going to sink it here and like maybe sink it like over here somewhere. Okay. Maybe you want them a little bit closer because you want to like rock it on your shoulder and you want a little bit of length to it. Okay. So you're going to get them a little bit closer. Whatever is your go-to. You could forego these straps altogether, make one big strap and do it like a messenger bag. You could do that as well. You could sew these straps on. You could, if you're a crocheter, you could crochet them on. You could surface crochet them on, which I think is what I'm going to do with this bag. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to surface crochet like a box and then an X inside that box, right? Just to give it a little bit of something, but like, you know, I might even just crochet it on. If you're a experienced or you went on an adventure in knitting, you could do a Kitchener stitch into here. Okay. So that is entirely up to you. Whatever your heart decides is what you want to do. That's what you're going to do with that. And then again, you're going to weave in those ends. Okay. So, and that's that. So one last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is you do not have to stick with like one variegated or whatever. You don't have to stick with exactly these stitches. Like, so I've got this idea. And now my brain likes to play. Guys, I like to play. So one of the bags that I did, I threw a cable up the sides where just the knits are. I threw a cable up the side and up this side, connected it with a cable strap. So it was one long strap and I cabled it across. Okay. I love that. It is so pretty. It's just this little simple S. You could do that. You could do different color work. So the next bag I want to make, after the one I have just started again, is I want to do a watermelon bag. So the bottom right here is going to be green, right? So this, all of my just regular knit, and the bottom is going to be green. Up here will be green. My straps, green. That first section of mesh and the very first section of mesh and the very last section of mesh, so number 1 and number 11 of my mesh is going to be white. The rest is going to be like a pinky watermelon-y color. Like, it just kind of throws watermelon, but isn't like, you know? You could do, okay, this is a lot of mesh, right? So then maybe I want to do like a section of just knit in between here. You could totally do that. I want you guys to play. That is how we learn. Okay? We learn by our mistakes and we learn by playing. Get in here, play with this thing, have fun. I want to see it. Show me what you do with it. I'm so excited to see. If you need any help, if you need some ideas, if you need whatever, let me know. I would love to see what you guys do. Have so much fun with this. Thank you for sticking through. I know this mesh section is a lot, but it is a fantastic way for you to learn. I'm so thankful that you gave this pattern a try. Even if you don't do it again, I'm so thankful that you've come along the journey with me and that you've given it a try. I cannot wait to see what you guys do with it. Please let me know how you feel about the bag. If there's something kind of different you want to see, let me know. I'm open to it. Be kind, because don't hurt my feelings. I'll cry. But I want to know, if you decide to do not cotton and something else, let me know. If you decide to do it like in a smaller size or a bigger size, or let me know. I want to know. Play with the pattern. Play with it. I am big on that. Patterns are meant to use as the bones, and then we go from there. Let your mind wander in it. Have so much fun with it. Thank you guys so much. I cannot wait to see what you guys do.